Looking at game one of the bottom bracket finals for Myth World Cup 2020. You've got Team Business Associates, captained by Paris, versus Team LSO, or my team as we call it, captained by Lord Scarial himself. From a lineup perspective, this is not BA's ideal showing, but it's pretty close. They do have one sub in Asmodean. You've got Captain, Monty, Adrin, Kroon, and Verminix. The two folks that are not here that you'd like to see for them are Sam and Rat King. But given their attendance issues overall throughout this tournament, I think this is probably as good as they could have hoped for. On the side of my team, very good showing. Only one member not able to play in Professional Killer. Arguably, PK would be part of the strongest lineup for my team, but really no attendance complaints. You've got a lot of the good folks here. From a trade perspective, on the side of Paris, we do have max goals, max pus, 5 dwarfs, 17 stigs, 20 or so warriors, and then a journeyman. So that is kind of a lot of dwarfs, I think. And then there's also no thrall. So from a defensive perspective, they'll likely be leaving warriors or just hoping they don't let anything through. Similar trade on the side of LSO. A couple noticeable differences. You've got one less dwarf. You do have 3 thrall. So a thrall on a tag flag is not going to do much, but it will protect you if just a single goal, as it, for instance, is able to get through. And then you do see more of an emphasis on stigs. So 20 stigs for Team LSO versus only 17. That's pretty nitpicky. I don't think it's going to make a big difference. This map does have ambient pus and also an ambient root. I don't know that most folks, looks like people are circling on the map where the ambient pus is. You see here's for Paris as well. So you do have your natural 12 pus from these whites, and then you also have some additional ambient pus. So from a unit trade perspective, or distribution rather, you see LSO and Arsenic are headed up north with pretty standard melee packs. You've got Blade and Tiri headed mid, and then we've got Donsky along with somebody, which I'll get to in a second, heading south. So you see the goal pack run by me. Karma does manage to sneak that ambient pus. Paris' team doesn't get this, so that's probably a mistake. I don't know that either team gets this, but maybe we see somebody grab it later in the map. And then another one here far south. So I'll check that at some point in the game just to see. Be interested to see if any team snagged those. Huge blunder here right away for my team. They're down a flag. It's because neither Donsky nor Blade remembered to tag this mid-south flag. We also don't have a tagger heading far south. So I think a tagging goal would have been really useful here. We did send tagger goals to the north and mid flags. So mistake maybe from the goal pack, mistake maybe from one of those south players not snagging those tags as quickly as they could. As a result, it's 5 tags to 3. You're seeing a minute and a half, minute 20-second lead for Team Paris. So that's not huge, but at the same time, we've seen in some of these King of the Mountain games, or King of the Map rather, in particular the one with Seeker and Paris' team, it can come down to a really close timeline. So, I really would like to see this be something that's cleaned up for future games. So finally, we're 4 minutes into the game, I think, or maybe just over 3. We do even up the tags. So final damage is about 2 minutes and 20 seconds in. So unit distribution on the Paris side, it's pretty close to a mirror. You do have Paris along with Kroon on the north side, matching up with LSO and Ars. You've got Adrin and Captain, matching up. Looks like Ars actually shifted a bit mid, so it's just Spoon, LSO, and Zell on that northern flank. Looking south, this is a Blade hold pack along with Donsky faced up against Monty and Verm. So pretty even splits. No wonky strategies here. I think at this point it's just going to turn out to be a BC battle unless, something can sneak through. So I think this is the first big blunder of the match. Captain is shifting over north there's really no reason for this. It may be that he's seeing LSO also shift north, and so they're thinking, okay, we may have to pull Adren north. But unless someone's telling him to do that in team chat, if he stays over here, he's basically going to be able to stop this goal pack, or at least make me try to go here. And then you're funneling me into Paris's dwarf. You're giving Adren a little bit of opportunity to stop the goal pack. But in this case, he shifts over, leaves a really big hole right down the middle of the map. So right away, Mystery Men have some goals in the backfield. Won't spend a ton of time on those. For anyone who watched the actual live stream, you got more goal packing than you probably ever wanted to see. So we'll focus instead elsewhere on the map. But you'll notice, as I say that really nothing is happening. So it's even percents. Goal pack does get that first flag. Pierce's team did snag the puss. Up here, it looks like Mystery Men did not snag that puss. I don't know that the puss is home ever gets picked up this whole game. So if you're Paris's team, you're still reasonably happy with this. You've got a time lead. If you're able to secure your backs, you can just camp this out. The problem is they're not able to secure their backs because the goal pack's through. They didn't have Thrall on defense. And then they're not sending back one person. They're sending back, one or two units at a time. Paris has like a spare dwarf. So Mystery Men are able to just slowly make up this time. So at this point, now with 7 minutes left, it's almost a tie game. And Paris's team has not yet been able to do anything about that tag in the back. We see, I don't think any other, there's been no other flag contested anywhere else on the map, except for the back four on the Team Paris side, because everyone else is stalling. Captain and Asmo are talking about we're having to make a move. I think they're starting to sense that, in this current setup, they're not able to get additional contests. They're having trouble stopping the contests in the background. There is a small percent lead, so it looks like a couple units finally did die. But elsewhere, I do agree with the assessment of both Captain and Asmo in the chat. Asmo is saying we're up in time somehow. Yes. Unfortunate error by the Mystery Men did give that first 2-minute tag lead. You can see that without that, it would be in fact a 2-minute tag lead for my team. So a 4-minute swing, on the part of that goal pack, making things up and giving a small lead to Mystery Men. Wow, this is very boring. So I earlier apologized to everyone, on the stream. Unfortunate there from... Oh, you're lucky, whoever that was. I didn't get to see it. I'm going to guess that was Zell. Unfortunately, lost a puss to a Stig. Elsewhere, again, not much happening. Some dancing mid. It looks like Adren is trying to push a bit. Their south is now deciding to be aggressive. So you've got Asmo and Kruniak pushing here on Zell and Spoon. Not terrible positioning. I like Spoon keeping that dwarf safe, keeping it out of the water. There is now a 10% lead. Looks like Zell on the part of Paris' team. Looks like Zell took some damage. But from a flag perspective, my team is up 2 minutes on flag time. They're up 1 flag, and none of our flags are currently in danger. The hold force is still keeping both Captain and Adren pinned up pretty easily. Looking south. South is getting pushed. Good puss there from Verm. Just a second late on the counter puss attempts from Blade. An unfortunate dud for Monty's puss. Will it matter? Great block from Blade's melee. Dwarf still dies. So it was a good attempt. It's a good micro there from Blade, but in the end of the day, it does still go down. He does salvage the puss. So just to freeze it here, 3-minute tag time advantage from my team, 2 flag lead. The percent lead is now swinging in the favor of Mystery Men. They're up 7%. I don't know why I don't know team names. Business Associates is up 7%. They are pushing through on both flanks. They are also trying to push through mid. Tyria is making a play where he's basically just leaving mid and running into into BA's backfield to basically do the same thing that these goals have been doing. While we were away, Goals did manage to take down the one dwarf that was running back and forth on defense. So I think, if Paris' team had committed enough to actually stop these back taggers, they're in a pretty good spot where they've got initiative in a couple of places on the map, and they're securing right now just south, but this south force is going to be able inevitably to swing around here and tag some additional stuff. Adren did stick a tag into the backfield, so second week in a row, I'll compliment Adren. Doing good things from a game type perspective. Captain does adjust pretty well and trade Puss here with Thierry. He's got a squad advantage, just given that dwarf. I'd like to see Captain continue to tail this and secure this flag, even sending some more melee to the southeast if he needs to. Smart play by Donsky here, doubling back towards the flag, just slowing this down a bit, putting some more pressure on the side of Monty and Verm. Monty and Verm should, I think, be sending units further west just to go for tags. It looks like Adren's tagger goal did die, but at this point, dead even in flags. It's a 5-minute lead for my team, and the percents are now back to even. So it's going to be very hard, having these percents evened out. Looks like our North team with Spoon and Zell did quite a good job. We're reinforced from ours and have cleaned up Asmo and Kroon. On the South side, again, Thierry is proving to be an excellent distraction. We've got taggers in the back. Captain at this point really seems out of sorts. He's not comfortable splitting his melee as much as Thierry. He should have some of this trailing Thierry here and the rest chasing this dwarf. He is securing this flag, which is good. But again, if you just look at the tags, Paris' team only up 2 tags down to 1. So even if they are close in percent with 5 minutes left and only a minute and a half left, they'd need something like a 9 flag situation to really start catching up. And they're just not in a position to do that. Thierry is going to capture this flag in the southeast. And they may threaten one of our flags here, possibly 2. But it's unlikely to be enough where they can get the 8 or 9 flag lead. 7, at this point, we're just going to speed through. So overall, again, pretty boring game for most of the folks, it seems like, involved until pretty far in. I think, Paris' team did the right thing in committing to push once they realized that they were losing that flag lead that the blunder at game start on the Mysteryman side had gained them. But unfortunately, they weren't able to succeed in the push. Thierry pushing into the backfield did cause some distractions. And overall, that's the end of game 1. So from a stats perspective, Zell doing really well on that northern flank, considering that was getting pushed pretty hard. And they took some, pretty serious losses in the initial engagement. Solid on him. 20 damage for a goal pack, I think, is pretty good. I do think that from a strategy perspective, those taggers, were key to us winning. And then Thierry, so similar as the game last week on, I think it was Myopia, very little damage, but he spent most of the game in the right place, ended the game securing multiple flags, and really kept Captain kind of discombobulated all over the pace. Paris didn't get to do much. I think, unfortunately he was stuck as a result of not having flags or any mirror goal pack, was stuck playing defense in the backfield most of the game. Verminix top damage, so it does look like, their mid and southern flanks were a bit more successful pushing. South is really the only place where they won. Kroon must have done some negative damage to himself at some point because he's got 2 kills, but somehow has done 0 damage. But anyway, at that point, 1 game to nothing in favor of my team.